Hello there. My name is Victor Angando, and I would love to speak to you about the history of Japanese anime. So, let's get right into it. Now, you may be thinking, isn't all anime Japanese? Yes. Actually, in fact, according to the Encyclopedia of Children, Adolescents, and the Media, anime is a shortening of the English word animation. So anything that is animated in Japan is considered anime. Let's get into the next slide, shall we? Ooh, my favorite part of anime, the beginning of it. So according to the Encyclopedia of Children, Adolescents, and the Media on anime, the earliest animated films date from 1915, to which after doing a couple other researches, it's still pretty, debated what time anime did begin. But in 1915, all these animated films were just dramatized folk tales. But then tragedy strikes the world. World War II strikes. And in 1937, the government restricts animators to producing military propaganda to get people to fight in the war. And the pic to the right of the slide is actually a piece of a military propaganda film. You can see right there, it is also a source for the pic, if you want to go see it for yourself. Yes, the rebirth of anime. After World War II, animators needed to catch up with the rest of the world. At this point, Disney was already showing the world how animated films were just as expressive as live action films. But then, Osamu Tezuka, or Tezuka, sorry for the pronunciation, I do not know, he releases Astro Boy in 1951, which later on becomes an animated hit series in 1963 to 1966. He as well as stated that Disney animated characters inspired the design of anime. And then Studio Toei Animation released its first animated feature film in 1958, The Tale of the White Serpent. This film paved the way for more adult and serious themes. It was noticeably darker than Disney films. It even spawned 3 more feature-length films. Toei Animation also worked on a film based on the legend of the Monkey King, which inspired Dragon Ball. And I also received the source of Michael O'Connor from the Okotan 1989 program book. Let's get into the next slide. Yes, the anime boom. According to the Columbia Encyclopedia, according to the Columbia Encyclopedia of Ishio Takahata, animators Ishio Takahata and Hayao Miyazaki founded Studio Ghibli in 1985. In the 1990s, many animated shows and films were being transported all around the globe. And once again, according to the Encyclopedia of Children, Adolescents, and the Media on anime, Kishou Otomo's Akira in 1988 depicted government corruption and individual alienation in modern society, to which many fans in the West best illustrate what anime can do. Hence why it says best illustrate the genre's reality. I also spoke with a friend, and they also believe that if it wasn't for Akira, there would be no such thing as anime in the West. And many film scholars did believe that as well. Let's go to part 2 of the anime boom. So according to Christian Rillenberg's anime and manga article, mainstream American audiences who were unfamiliar with anime, or maybe, were perhaps more influenced by Cartoon Network's Toonami and Adult Swim's programming, which started in 2001 and still continues on to this day. It strengthened the already global success of exports as in Neo Genesis and Naruto. It also re-aired some more classic series like the Gundam series and the Studio Ghibli films. I remember being a kid and watching Dragon Ball Z on Cartoon Network. I didn't even see Naruto on. I can tell you personally, I was as well influenced by this. Let's get into the next slide, shall we? So we're going to take a little bit on the history of anime, because at this point we already know that anime was doing well and it continued to prosper. I would like to take the time to express how anime and the film movement, German Expressionism, go quite well with each other, actually. See, anime uses background, setting, lighting, and costumes to express the film or show. They also use characters' design to be more expressive of their personality or traits. They also offer many different points of views and angles in fight scenes or even cooking scenes. Whatever they want, they use so many different point of views and angles. That's why I chose, personally, a picture of the fight scene of Goku vs. Broly in the hit film Dragon Ball Super Broly. Love that film. Now, see, on the German Expressionism side, they use distorted shapes to show different moods or perceptions in certain characters. And of course, they're going to use actual studio sets because, well, these are live action films. Lighting was also used to emphasize mood or emotional states. Shadows and low-key lighting set the tone for the films, which anime has also copied in the past. So I like to personally think that anime and German Expressionism mix pretty well together. Or at least you can see that anime took some inspiration from these German Expressionism. Let's get on to the next slide. Yes. The hit film Spirited Away. According to the Columbia Encyclopedia on Hayao Miyazaki, this film brought him universal praise and an Academy Award. Sorry for that, folks. Set box office records when it was released in Japan. Even outsold Titanic when it came out. It is also frequently ranked as one of the best animated films of all time. And it's the only non-English language animated film to win an Oscar for the best animated film. Now that says a lot about this film. I want to do a small little analysis about this film. As you can read, in layman's terms, Spirited Away is about the journey of maturity and sticking to who you are. We join Chihiro's journey in trying to bring her parents back from a curse and be able to survive the spirits of the land she does not really know about. This film alone represents what anime can do, teach and say about life, from the joy, the scary, the laughter, and having to grow up at a pace you did not choose. This film also reminds me of an Italian realism movement film called Bicycle Thieves. Chihiro and the main characters of that other film must find something important for them, and they only have one opportunity to make it all right. And that is why I say that this film alone is the best film to represent anime. And as well in this time frame as well, Spirited Away was coming out when computer-generated films were coming out, and it fits so well in the time frame and still holds up to this day. And like I said before, you must watch this film. So here's a little bit of an outline I used for my video here today. Explain the word anime, explain the beginning of anime, 2000s also being a great year for anime, and, mention all the hit shows and films that are out at that time, comparing anime to German Expressionism, and the hit film Spirited Away and the impact it has. Here are my sources. And that's all, folks. I hope you had a great time listening to me, and maybe I'll make another one of these.